Morning guys, this is Richard back at you. We got Teresa on the camera. Annie's in the house again. Gotta love Annie. People are already wanting to send her candy and all kinds of goodies. I mean, they're talking about our new YouTube channel, so
Pup
we're really
toys.
excited about that. Richard and Teresa Kreitch, transmission educational videos. Or excuse me, educational transmission videos. Right. So if you want to subscribe, go to there. That'd be really nice. But anyway, we got a 2003 GMC truck in the house, 246 GM transfer case. Now we've already pulled the tranny out and went through it. We got the videos a little long, so we're having to go in the house and download it. So we're going to still do that one before this one. But anyway, the tranny had no second gear. The customer already put solenoids on it and stuff like that. It didn't cure it. It did have a mass airflow sensor code, stuff like that. So, but anyway, we know that on these transfer cases, they're about cutting the housing, the pump fingers and stuff like that, causing little bitty weep holes around the edges here on the tail housing. But we actually, every time we do them, we put this case saver in there. The pump now we're right on these 4 tabs right here instead of right on the case. They do have a little metal tab inside the case. It's pop riveted in. It breaks off, starts cutting the magnesium case. So, but anyway, we're going to get this apart really quick. Now, when you got your range/mode motor right here, since this has got a switch up on the dash. Now, this did have a code for the switch up on the dash. The customer said that he did have one. I don't know if it's in his truck or he'll bring it to me when he comes and picks it up, but we'll look or I'll call him. But it did have a code for the switch in the dash. So, but we're basically going through this to put the case saver in there. That way the pump don't mess up the case and you don't have to come back. So, but anyway, all the bolts are the same on this, but these two here, the bolts are the same, but this is where you mount your brackets. Your wiring harness comes through, clips here, clips into your input speed sensor for your front drive shaft, and then it comes around here where you can plug into the range motors, and then to your output speed sensors too here. The harness clicks in. So it just tells you where they're marked out. Sometimes I'll scratch it right here and here, that way I know exactly, because when you get it apart, there's so many bolts. So you take this, well, I won't take that apart yet. We'll take the motor off here. I'd say that one there's a little tight, don't you, Teresa? Because these little Mac tools impacts are really stout. Some of these got like self-tapping bolts too. The hole's not tapped out, especially if you got a new case. It won't be. You might have to re-tap the threads even with the new bolts they come with. So this usually comes right off here with no problem. Now, if you look here, this thing's got a little notch in it, right here. You see it right there. Now this motor will only go on these spines one direction. You can see the little deal right there. So after you get the transfer case back together, this might be in a different location where you can't get your motor on. So, but this will turn with a pair of pliers or something. You get on there and click it where you the right direction, so you can line up that little notch right there. Now this is a gasket, seals and stuff like that. Keeps water basically out of this right through here. So, but you got your front input speed sensor, your 2 output speed sensors here. These do have little black O-rings on them right there. They always try to stay in the case. Now your gasket set will come with new O-rings though. Now these sensors will retrofit. This one will go here either way. You can swap them anywhere you want to. They don't have to go in the same area. Here. Now we do have a snap ring under this little rubber cover right here. Also your gasket set usually comes new with those two. Now there is a snap ring in here. I like to turn the transfer case like that. That way you can kind of get some weight on the down motion of it, and when you open it, a lot of times it'll just fall out. It don't fall out much, but it falls out down enough to where it holds the snap ring open. See that? Now if you take it real lightly, like that, since you already did the snap ring, it'll come right apart. Now these do have little slots in them right here where you can put a screwdriver. There's no gasket, it's going to be silicone. There's one over here on this side too. Get a bigger screwdriver here. There we go. Come on. There we go. Now what we're going to be doing here is looking for areas where the pump is starting to cut into the case. Can you see that right there, Teresa? Can you get my flashlight? Would it be better? See that right there? Mm-hmm. Well, that pump, that isn't very thick right there, and next thing you know, you'll knock a little weep hole in there, and it'll start leaking out right here. And all of them do it. See, there's wear here. Mm-hmm. This one here. See it? And this metal sleeve right here, this retainer, what do you want to call it, the pump runs right here. And it'll break it off right here. And then once it does that, it just starts cutting it all the way through. But they should have put one of these all the way around, or put the case saver in it from the factory. Now you can see here on your tag, the 246 GM transfer case. That's what you're going to go by for getting any parts or anything like that. Now this does have an auto 4-wheel drive, so it's physically got clutches inside here. Get a bearing here. Just remember your snap ring groove goes up. And then you have your reluctor for your speedometer, or for your output speed sensor, speedometers. Like that, and then you'll have this little wavy, not two-piece, but it does have a gap in it, see? But it is wavy, it goes in there. Guess it keeps this stuff from all bouncing around or something. I'm not really sure what it's there for. But this is the pump I'm talking about. This piece right here, this case saver, will set on there like that. I'm probably going to get it wrong 5 different times. It sets on there just like that. That way, the pump right here, this is so sharp, that's what cuts the case. This edge right here. So they put that in there like that. That way the pump runs against this metal tabs, see? And the tabs against the case. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, you know, instead of GM doing one tab, they're giving you all 4. So this chain looks really good still. Get the pump off there. You don't want to lose that. If you're messing with this unit, you don't want to lose that O-ring right there, especially if you don't got an overhaul kit or something like that, because that O-ring is totally different than anything made. I keep them. Every one of them. That way, if I lose one or it shoots off somewhere and I can't find it, I always have one of those O-rings. Got to put it in a little special spot. This is your pump here. You can take it apart, check it out. You very seldom ever have to replace the pump. These are really good pumps. And we have our snap rings that hold our chain on. Come on. Come on. Always gotta be one that's difficult. And these pliers I got usually work pretty good. Wow. Don't understand that at all.
They're not seasoned anymore.
I guess not. They don't like the area. Wow. That don't make no sense. Let me get my other ones out here. See if this will get it off there. There we go.
Need bigger.
These are identical snap rings. You can swap them around. Now, when I pull this apart, I kind of like to leave my, like this has got 3 different colored links in it. Now, this is how you identify this chain. When you call in 246 GM transfer case, they might ask you, hey, has it got 3 blue links, 2 blue links, stuff like that. But when I take this apart, if I'm going to use this system back, sprockets do get a little bit of wear and stuff like that, so I try to put it back exactly how it come apart. I don't like to flip my sprockets over, anything like that. I'll physically clean this really good like that. That way, I put it right back on there. You can always take and mark it just a little bit, put a little scuff mark on it. That way you know this is your bottom gear. Do it like that. So, and we do have our pump suction here. Really nothing in there, nothing really on the magnet, anything like that. Now this here is your all-wheel drive, or your auto 4-wheel drive, excuse me, clutch pack here. Now what it does is, when you push auto 4-wheel drive and this thing starts seeing tire slippage in the back by one of these output speed sensors, it'll actually, this motor will push this fork right here and lift this, turn this shaft and lift this fork up and push on this and apply the clutch, which applies the chain, which applies the front drive shaft, which applies the front tires. So that's how we have auto 4-wheel drive. Now when you put it in 4-wheel drive, high or low, period, the arm holds its clutch on all the time. See, so auto, it only brings it on when it feels tire slippage in the back, brings the front tires on by applying the clutch right here. Pretty simple. This is a snap ring right here that kind of likes to go south on you. So you kind of want to, it's a half moon one. You want to throw something over it just to make sure it doesn't disappear on you, because it's capable of disappearing. Now, this has a little funny looking, one of the craziest looking spring snap rings. It's a cushion snap ring is all it is. Probably keeps clutch chatter down. There's really, I'm not for sure exactly what it does. Now, let me show you something too here. When this was together, this tab is sticking up. Okay? When you put this back down in there, this tab right here better be pointing towards the outside of the case. It cannot be facing here. If you put it in down like that with this here, you will put it together and this lever will not turn. It will not turn. So you have to make sure when you put this back together, that outer locking tab, it keeps it from turning. It keeps stops it from going either direction, this centerpiece here. So pretty simple. That's just something you really want to remember. Now they do make different variations of this clutch pack here, but you always want to put it back just like it is. Okay, see all the clutches here? Look pretty decent, not much wear at all. And this plate right here is kind of weird how it works. If you get a little bit of wear on one side, you can flip it over and put it back in there like that against the clutch. But it's kind of a weird design. You'd think that, I don't know how it works, seriously, because it's against the clutch. So you'd think it would put metal to metal when it went on here or something like that, but it physically doesn't. Now this does have to slide down in here a certain direction, and you want to make sure this piece is sticking up. The big land down, it goes down like that. Just always remember, when you take something apart, lay it out how you take it apart, and that will help you a ton. Now, let me lay this over here. Get this fork out of here. Now these are the pivot pins for this fork. They go in here like that. Like I said, when you put it in auto 4-wheel drive and the computer senses the back tire slipping, it'll lift this fork up and apply that clutch. Pretty simple. Okay. Now this fork right here and this gear right here is what locks it into a low gear or high gear application. This is called your, my nose was itching there for a second. It's called your mode fork, which range you're going to be putting it in. Or excuse me, your range fork. Your mode fork is what puts the chain on. So the range fork is what puts it in the low range or high range, excuse me. But I wanted to show you something over here. I was wanting Teresa to come over here and show you. These plastic tabs we always replace. You can see this one here's melted out a little bit already. They come in different configurations. See, now this one here would pop on here like this. See, and then this would go on the other side. So, you take this off and just put new ones. Now some of these forks are non-replaceable. You got to replace the whole piece. So it just depends on what you have. They just pop off. Pretty simple. Now you have your big planetary gear down in here. Of course I got my special screwdriver. I found it again. To take these seals out with. It's called a special screwdriver custom made tool, right Teresa? Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. And once you get the seal out, there's a snap ring down here that you're going to take loose. It's a stout one. Come on. Like I said, it's a stout one. Come on, there it goes. And you kind of, there you go. So here's the snap ring. There's the groove. Now you do have a bearing here, your input bearing here. And then of course you have a planetary gear here. You're going to take this out. Now when you pick this metal washer up here, there's going to be a plastic one underneath with no tabs. Okay? If you come down here and grab the one down on the bottom, get it out of there. There we go. It has tabs. Okay? You can put a tab on the bottom, a tab on the top, but you cannot put a non-tab on the bottom. It has to have a tab. You can put this one on both of them, but you cannot put this one down on the bottom. It has to have a tab. So you just want to look at your planets really good. Make sure the pins ain't purple. You don't need pitting or anything like that. Same way on this sun gear here. Now you want to look in here, because that's where this gear locks in. If you get wear in here, this is when your transfer case can start jumping out, stuff like that. You can see the contact pad points right here, little dark spots. And you come over here, see, you can see here, which is the load side, it's nice and shiny. This side here is the dull side where it's not even, it's not going backwards, so it's not going to the back side of the gear. But if you start seeing wear here, you better look for wear there and replace them. If not, you're going to have transfer cases jumping out of low gear and stuff like that. So, well guys, thank you for joining us again. Teresa, thank you for videotaping. Don't forget to subscribe, push the notification bell. Richard and Teresa, educational transmissions videos. So go check us out, and we really thank you again, guys. Have a great day.